Crush.
Welcome to Crush Wednesday. So excited to be here. Hope everybody is well. Today we're talking about all about top performers have one thing in common. I'm going to share with that today with yourself. So top performers have one thing in common. I'm going to share that today. I apologize I was late. I had a special guest I wanted to bring on and it was a last minute conversation. So I've got them on, they're going to come on. So I've got a special guest that's going to come on that can expand all about this topic, all around coaches. If you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. And as I said, I'm going to bring a special guest onto the show today to talk all about the subject that I want to talk about today. They've had a lot of experience in this topic. Welcome, Leanne. Good to have you joining in on this topic. If you are listening, watching, make sure you say hello. For those who have been waiting for me to come on, I do apologize, I'm late. It's Richard Turnji, and today we're talking all about what top performers have. One thing they have in common, one thing they do have in common. Now, if you are coming on, say hello, wave. This is a very interaction topic. The reason why it's interaction is because you guys all have the clues around today. And you've all experienced this as well. So that's why I want to talk about that today. I am going to bring a special guest on today's show if I can get them on. As I said, it was only organized very last minute because it was hard to get a hold of them, but I've got a hold of them. And I really think that we can add some light to this conversation around top performers have one thing in common. As I'm going to get this guest on, and I wanted to go through the topic that I wanted to talk about today. So as you are tuning in, say hello. I just want to make sure that they are on this live. Just let me know if you are on. If you can comment, Paul, if you are on this live, just let me know that you are on, please. That would be great. And when I see Ron, I'm going to talk about what I'm talking about today. So I'd love to know what everybody's been up to. Pete, good to have you here joining us. Very good to have you joining us here. Great. I'm just going to get my guest on the show now. Just tagging in. So guys, today we're talking about a very special topic, a topic that everybody has the power to perform, and I believe it's all top performers. I believe everybody wants to be a top performer. I believe you already are top performers, but the difference between what you know now and what you want to get to, it requires two things. It requires time, as in more time for your craft. It requires more time for your craft, or it requires the secret ingredient, what I will talk about today, and that is coaches and mentors. And I believe all top performers have this one thing in common, which is coaches and mentors. And that's what I want to talk about today. And in fact, I've got a special guest on. Paul Timms is joining me right now, and I'm gonna grab him into this live because he's had a lot of experience in teaching coaches and mentors and training coaches and mentors and working with top performers over the last few years, like everybody here has. And I want to bring the insights in today. So I thought I'd have a bit of a conversation with somebody. And I want to, pre-frame what we're talking about today. Everybody here is coaches. You are all coaches already. You're all helping people on their fitness journey. So we all know that it's important to have coaches. However, the topic I want to talk about today is like, well, how many coaches do you have in your corner? Do you have one? Do you have two? Do you have none? And how many do you think you should have, depending on the outcome that you want to reach? So I'm gonna tune into Paul Timms. Now I've known Paul for a lot of years, and I'm gonna intro him first, and I'm gonna bring him on. So let me see if I can grab him onto the live here. I'm gonna invite my viewers onto the live. Let's see if this works. This may not work, guys, but we'll see. We will see. Let's see if we can tune into Paul. No, that's not the one. Maybe Ev can help me here. I have one more shot. No, I can't tune my guest in. Maybe I'm going to have to do it later. Paul, maybe you can request to join. That'd be great. And Ev, maybe you can help me on this one. Guys, how many coaches do you have? If you can label up how many coaches you actually have, that would be great. On a 1 to 10 scale of currently right now, how many coaches do you have in your corner? Now, coaches can be any kind of coaches. We can have a fitness coach. You guys may have your own personal trainer. You can have a business coach or mentor, whatever you want to call it. You can do that as well. So let me know what you have in your corner. I'd love to know how many people have coaches in their corner. And can't tune, Pauline. Boris says 1. Bob says 1. How many coaches do we have in our corner? Let me just see if I can get Paul on. No, we can't, unfortunately, but we might do a live a little bit later. It was a last minute try. 1, great. Leanne has 5 coaches. 5 coaches. 5 coaches. 5 is the number. So let's just go through a coach. I'm going to try one more time with Pete has 4 coaches. Guys, love to know what your feedback is with coaches. Let me know what your feedback is with coaches. And Paul, maybe if you can request to join, that'd be great. If not, we can do this later. That is a shame. That's okay. Technology, last minute. Okay, so we've got between 1 to 5 coaches at the moment. Now, let's go through why you need a coach. And maybe, Paul, if you can request to join, that'd be great, so I can get you on this live. So there's a reason why you need some coaches. You're feeling stuck. You have a vision, but you lack a plan. That's a big one. You have a vision, but you lack a plan. You need to accelerate your results. And you want to get an edge to get to the next level. That's a big one. Or you want to step out of your comfort zone. I'd love to know which one is it for you? What do you use a coach for? Ev's coming here and see if I can help with technology. Hey, Ev, smile to the camera.
Hey, guys.
I don't think we can tune in, unfortunately, but just to make... Not adding there.
Yeah.
No. Not allowing me. All good. That's okay. Paul's tuning anyway. I'm going to get Paul on shortly in another week's episode to come. It was all last minute, Ev says. Why didn't you tell me, Richard, earlier? Okay, so that's okay. Maybe Paul can add your comments into this one. So you're feeling stuck, you have a vision, and you need to accelerate results. Guys, why did you choose to get a coach for? Now, some of the best in the business have coaches. We look at Olympic swimmers. These guys are like at their peak already, and they have a coach to get them through that last part. Everybody's having a coach. Now, the way the world's moving, the way that business is moving, we're in new places that we've never been before. And we don't know what's around the corner because technology is changing. Like what we're teaching today, and Paul wants to join my video, great, I'm going to tune you in right now. What we're teaching today with Facebook and with Instagram, we didn't know 10 years ago. So there's a few different ways that you can take this play. It's that you can do it yourself or you can go get experts in this industry. Now, what's an expert? If Facebook hasn't been around or if your technology or communication hasn't been around, how does an expert become an expert? What do they do? Is it working hours? Is it just experience? Or is it someone who's been around at a different time, but now that the technology or the environment's changed, they've got the background knowledge of that? And that's what I wanted to ask Paul. Let's see if I can grab him on the call. Can you just reach out again for me, what you just did there, Paul? That was great, and I'll tune you into the call. So what is it? Why do you think your clients need a coach for? I'd love to know. Give me some feedback, guy. Why do you think your clients need a coach for? Let me know what you think on this one. Great. Let's see if this works. To grab me on this topic and to run through some different ideas around coaches and mentors, because it can really elevate your business game to the next level. This can really scale your business. This can take you to a new area in your business, a new direction in your business, all because you're getting some advice. Now, I don't think you can have coaches for everything anymore. I think it's too broad. You can have a fitness coach, a finance coach, a wellness coach, a spiritual coach, a family coach. I just think there's too many. One coach won't do it all. So what are the elements of having different coaches in different sections of your life, the life that you want to scale? How does that work for you? I'd love to know. I'd love to know what coaches you have in here. So at the moment, I've got a few different coaches that I'm getting myself involved in. I'm getting myself in multiple different coaches for different areas. I just have one coach for kind of everything broadly, but I'm really finding that it's working better to have individual coaches. Can't bring Paul onto camera. This guest is already on the broadcast. No, he's not. We're going to do this Zoom next time, I think, Paul. I'm trying to add you, but it's not working. That's okay if it doesn't. Maybe it's a slow connection today. Usually we do it over Zoom. It was a last-minute ad, guys. I just thought it brings some great context in this conversation. But that's okay. So who needs a tweak in their business? Who needs to keep accountable? I think the biggest thing, the reason why we need coaches is for accountability. I think that everything now is about accountability and execution and getting the results done, most importantly. And that's what it's about. There's a lot of, with the information age now, and there's so much information out there at our fingertips. Like, we can go now to YouTube and we can find anything that we want literally for free. Everything's out there, like at our fingertips. Facebook is out there, Instagram is out there. We've got more articles, more content. We've got more videos happening than ever before in history. So one would think, why do we actually need a coach for when everything's there for free? And that's the question I have. Why do you think you need a coach for when everything there is for free? Now, I've got some answers coming through. Pete Davis says, knowledgeable, create a plan, how to start putting it all together. Paul Tim says, next time. Yes, next time we'll get on this live. We'll get it sorted on Zoom. Keep a track of goals and provide feedback along the way. Ashley says, guidance and educated advice. Now, I like that one. And I'm going to talk about this, what Ashley's saying is educated advice. I think that's the biggest thing that we're talking about today is educated advice. When we have educated advice, it speeds along the path of where we want to get to. Because there's so much content out here for everybody to view, and it's like never-ending content, we don't know where to start. And this is the confusion part. And in fact, because there's so much content, I don't know about you guys, you start to get comparing. So we compare to multiple different sources, multiple different people, and then we get like confusion sets in. Who's had confusion set in? Where they've had all these different experts or coaches and they can't make a decision because they got too much advice. Let me know if that's ever happened to you, where you got too much advice and now you can't make a decision. So that gets me onto the track of the reasons to hire a coach. And one of the reasons is you need someone to keep you accountable. But at the end of the day, you need someone to give you some guided opinions based on their, I call it first-hand knowledge. And when you have first-hand knowledge on this topic, I think that's the highest level of coach you can have, because this coach has been there through the journey before and they've seen it and they've been through it with themselves or with multiple other clients along the way. Preferably, it's great when they've been through it themselves, because then they have the first-hand experience. And then sometimes they can have multiple clients that this has happened to multiple times. So they have really great insights into what's happened. So think about this, guys. You are coaches to your clients. They come to you for fitness. But now the question is, when you want to scale your business, when you want to get to the new heights, it could be in accounting. You suck in finances, and that's really bad part of your life. It's going deep in that world. It could be that your mindset, having a mindset coach, going deep in that. And whatever you're seeking to scale or to grow, it's about really going deep into that world and finding somebody who's just like in that world 24/7, who's had a lot of experience in that. Now, just think about how long that will take to find that person. Sometimes it's a really fast way, and sometimes you just got to go through multiple different people to find the right one that sits with you. But think about the time that it can cut down on your business and how fast you can move across the line. Now, Craig Ballantyne, some of you may follow him, Early to Rise author. He's got a podcast out, and he talks about having multiple coaches in all different areas of business, what I was talking about before. And this is a concept that I'm getting much more involved in, having multiple coaches at every single part of my life, and using those for that micro part of your world. Now, you can have one broad coach, but at the end of the day, when you have an expert in every area, it does speed along quite fastly. Now, the question is, how do you choose a coach? And I'd love to know from everybody how they've chosen a coach in the past. What's happened in your situation when you've had to choose a coach? How have you done it in the past? I'd love to know what's happened here. So I got 4 points here. Number one, do they have experience? Number one, have they been and done that before? Do they have experience? Have they been and done that before? Number one. Number two, do they have similar morals and ethics? That's a big part of a coach, because with a coach, you're really buying into their philosophy, to their style. Now, sometimes there's coaches out there, and they will blast one kind of concept, but everything else in their life is all like fallen down the wayside. And so you've got to understand that if they're going deep in this, there's other parts of their life maybe they don't have together. So you've got to look at all components of a coach, I believe. And that's where content is a really good part, understanding that person. I'd love to know how you choose a coach, guys. If you can comment below for me. And radically accountability. Are they accountable? Can you call them if you're doing the stuff? What's that? Is it just somebody talking to you, or is there accountability back? What type of accountability they're back? And do you have good rapport with that coach or not? Do you have good rapport? I think that's the biggest thing. Most importantly, to make sure there is rapport there. Now, Ashley says, watched what they have done with others. That's a good part. How do you watch what they've done with others? Is it case studies? Is it a testimonial? Do you have to call the other clients? Leanne says it's alignment. Leanne says, do they walk their talk? Leanne says the results that they want. These are great ways to find a coach. Now, just think about how many hours of coaches had, and you've had no experience in that world, how many hours they can save you to scale your business. And then you think, is it actually worth the money or not? Is it worth money? And how do you calculate the money? Let's calculate this. So to calculate a coach and say, is this coaching experience worth it or not? The way that I like to do it is go, okay, how long is it going to take you to learn how to do it? And that's an easy one. You could be stuck on YouTube for, I call it the second shift. When you get home in the evening, it could be like everybody's going to bed and you're on there at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock trying to research a topic to figure out what's going to work. And that's 4 hours right there. And that's 4 hours of your time. What's 4 hours of your time worth? How often do you do that? And it's that indecisiveness. How long does that indecisiveness take? And that's the way you can start to calculate a coach's experience and wealth, most importantly. I find a big belief in what coaches are is that somebody who has been there and done it, and not necessarily done it with themselves, but done it with multiple clients, because sometimes the best coaches are the ones that actually are great coaches, great accountability coaches, great education. So you've got to understand, you've got a coach, you've got a mentor, you've got an advisor, you've got a presenter, all different kind of elements. So it's like finding multiple people or one person that can take care of it all for you, or different coaches in every cycle. I'd love to know that. And that's what a coach really does. We had a podcast that came out. If you have listened to Crush Your Fitness Marketing podcast, say yes if you listen to that podcast show, the new one, Crush Your Fitness Marketing. And that was all about the power of mentors and the power of coaches. And so you can go back and listen to that. Myself, Ev, and Nolan, we talked deeply around coaches and mentors. And we did talk about, to speed that process up. If you were to do it yourself, what would you have to do? Well, you'd have to go deep on the hours and the experience. Now, anybody can go deep on the hours, but it's the experience that sometimes that you need from somebody else that's been there and done that and can stop you from going down different paths that you're about to go down and suck a lot of your time out from. So when you think about it, coaches are probably the cheapest way to move faster. But the reason why we don't use coaches is because we think, well, we know it all. We can trial and error. They did do it. How are we going to do it? So we avoid taking the coaches. And I've been in that situation for many years. I don't start with coaches because I think, well, like, I could do that. I could study that. I can do it myself. In fact, yes, that is true. You can. But if you look at all the greats, you look at any advisor, you look at a president, they've all got the advisor team. People have board members. People have close allies. These are your advisors. These are your mentors. These are your coaches. And so a simple way to start the process of coaching, there's two different ways. You can find a coach in the area that you have, so that specific niche that you have. You could go out there and search online. You could ask for referrals. You could do many of those different things. You could go get a board together for your business. And so if you're going to get a board together for your business, it might be somebody who's, could be a client of yours that you want to bring aboard. It could be a close family member. It could be a friend. It could be another business associate. And you bring a board together and you sit on a board every quarter where they give you advice and strategies to lead the way in your business. That's another way. The third way is you can actually just meet with a few great people, like over a coffee once a month, and share different concepts and ideas. But the biggest thing here is that you need to give permission for that coach, for that mentor to give you advice. You need to give permission for that to happen. If you're just going to catch up with some friends, they're not invested into your business for the success of your business. So it's really important that you give advice and approval for them to say, listen, if you've got a problem, let me know and pull me up from it. And you can't hold that against them if they're saying, hey, your business needs to change this and this. You've asked for that advice, and so you can give that advice. And it's really important that when you ask for that, you need to make sure that you're always able to accept that and listen to it, most importantly, because they're coming from a place of providing you based on value. Now, remember, a coach is from the outside, so not in your business. So as business owners, we're in our business every single day. We're very emotionally attached to our business. And so when you get a coach or an advisor, they're coming from an outside view. They're coming with a non-emotional attachment. And when they're coming from a non-emotional attachment to your business, they can see things a lot clearer from how the business needs to be moving forward to reach the goals that you want to reach. And sometimes that's the only thing you need. And sometimes it's worthwhile having a coach just on the sidelines, just listening, watching, until one day you ask their opinion or their advice and they tell you which direction to go. And to me, I feel that holds a lot of value. I feel that holds more value than somebody that's just in the business in a short term and they don't really know you, who you are, what you're about, and what you ultimately believe in, what your vision and mission is. So I think there's a lot of value in having long-term coaches, mentors, advisors, because they can see when you're off path and when you're on path as well. And the reason why I want to bring Paul onto the call as well, which that's okay, we're going to have another Zoom session later on this topic because I think it's a really important topic, and I want to bring some different advisors on, is that when you've known people for a long time, sometimes people can work in a coaching section, they can work at advisors, they can work in a different level of advice, but it's really making sure that you're understanding who's in your corner at a certain period of your business. And it could be different people, but I always recommend to have at least one person that's that long-term advisor to your business, that's understanding the direction that you want to get to, most importantly. And along the ways, you can drop in different mentors and advisors as you need fit, depending on the topic that you have, to ensure that you can bring the best out of that topic. So today's topic was really about like, hey guys, you are already coaches, but do you have a coach for your business? Now, a big thing, another thing I have here too is that, you know, I'm going to implement. At the end of the day, implementation is great, but without accountability, guys, it's very hard to know if it's the right way or not, because you don't want to keep switching and changing. You want to make sure that you're following a process and a plan that will get you to the end result. There's plenty of times, there's so many times in my career, I don't call it career, in my life, that if I had advisors, I would move things a lot faster than if I didn't. And sometimes it's great to learn the lesson, but sometimes it's a pain in the ass to learn those lessons because they take a long time to learn the lessons. Who agrees with that? Yes or no? I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you agree that, you know, what do you think about this whole concept of having multiple advisors or just one? What do you prefer to do? Do you like to keep the one advisor or coach all the way through, or do you prefer to switch and change advisors and coaches? I'd love to know what that means for you. So today, guys, a little bit of a different topic, and I do apologize. I had a guest coming on, didn't work technology, so I wanted to get through my notes, but I did want some opinions of an expert in this space who has coached thousands of different coaches in this space and what that success has been for. So today we talked about the top reason to hire a coach. You're feeling stuck. You have a vision, but you lack the plan. Everybody has a great vision, but if you don't have a plan, it means nothing. It's just a dream. You need to accelerate your results. Somewhere along the line, your business, you're going to need to accelerate your results. Sometimes you can be stable, but you need to accelerate. You need to get an edge, get to the next level, and you need to step out of your comfort zone. These are all reasons why you might be thinking, hey, it's time for a coach. It's time for a mentor. It's time for a program. When you're facing a major transition, this is a big one, guys. When you're focusing a major decision to make in your business, you need to have some people to give you some different advice along the way so you don't go down the wrong path. Going down the wrong path takes a lot of time to get back to the path, and you may need some tweaks in your business. And most importantly, I think the biggest one is that you may need simple accountability. Because as business owners, if we don't hold us accountable, who is holding us accountable? Who is ultimately holding us accountable? If you're in business, is it your wife, your partner? If they're not in business, is it yourself? Is it your kids? Is it your friend? Who's all holding you accountable? And if you don't have anybody holding you accountable, it's very easy to get out of a lot of things that you should be doing. It's very easy to say, you know what? I did that. That was great. I did a good job on that. So I always advise is to have somebody in your corner. As I said, all the greats do it. We look at every swimmer in the sun, every Olympic athlete, they all have coaches. Why aren't business owners any different to have coaches? Now, I know a lot of you on the call or in our Ninja program, a lot of you do our courses and our programs, but I'm not talking about courses, guys. I'm not talking about doing a Facebook course or a social media course. I'm talking about having a mentor. I'm talking about having a coach. I'm talking about having a community of people that understand your business and can get you advice. It's very different to watching a YouTube video. It's very different to buying a course online. We sell courses. I still don't think that's accountability. It's very different to even having a Facebook group where you can and can't post. Having somebody that you pay for their advice means that that's a transaction. A board member is a transaction. That's their job, and they're going to give you their advice. Remember, guys, if you're getting some free advice, think about that. How much invested hours and time and thinking is going into that quick advice that somebody's giving you? Have they invested their time, their resources into your business, understanding what your pain points are and where you want it to go or not? If they haven't invested that time and understanding what you do, I would say that's a bit of free advice. And free advice is very easy to get. You could ask anybody their opinion, and people have opinions. There's no shortage of that going around. But right now, you want to make sure that if you have a specific problem, you need to get a specific coach to help you through that process so they understand what's in the business. And that is the way that the greatest top performers have in common. They all have coaches. Let me just check. I've got all the comments down. If you have any comments, it says one coach as long as the same subject. Long-term business coach, otherwise too many different views. That's a big one, yes. Another area, but another area like fitness, you could have multiple coaches in different areas. I like this. If you have multiple coaches in the same kind of topic, it's very dangerous, I believe, unless they're working with each other. Because what happens is you're hitting all different opinions, and then that sets in confusion. So try to keep things simple in your life. Try to have one coach for your business, one coach for your fitness, one coach maybe for your mind, one coach for your, it could be family, like whatever the world that you need to be in. But I do believe that in an age that we're moving into, where we have new systems, new processes, new technology, new everything, we need somebody to ensure that we are staying on the right path. So now more than ever, coaches, mentors, programs is the way forward, I believe, to really scale what you need to do. Because remember, before in the past, it was the same. There's been more change in the last 20 years than ever before in history. And that requires you to be clear as a business owner, be precise as a business owner, being clear and having direction. Otherwise, it's just all too confusing because it's never been so many different decisions that we need to make. Even, how we're running our business, what platforms are going, what marketing we're going in. What we teach guys, I'll give you my 2-second plug is we go deep in marketing for the outcome of business. We believe that once you have your business clear, we just want to know where you're going. And if you can excel marketing to that, if you can get better marketing, better branding, your leads are going to be better. And then that drives into your business to grow that process there. We don't go deep on talking about how to run your boot camp sessions or what type of kettlebells to buy. We don't talk about that because that's something that will delusionalize what we're talking about here. And that's something really unique in those different spaces. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's Crush Wednesday. We do this every Wednesday at 9:29, Crush Wednesday. I'm Richard Turnji for those new joining me in this group. We'll be back next Wednesday We're going to slightly adjust the time next Wednesday to 10 a.m., 10:01 a.m., 10:01 a.m. We're adjusting the time. We're going to check a different time out. Hopefully that works for the vast majority of everybody. I'd love to know your feedback on those times. What time works for you best on Crush Wednesday? Let us know. We want to impact this and bring this to more people on the live times. So we are going to test some new times out. If you've got any feedback on times, the best time for you, please put in the comments and we can get back to that. We want to make sure that everybody can have a say. And the reason why these are lives, because I can clearly do a lot of pre-records, guys. I've done many pre-records. You can watch quickwins.com. You can go watch Industry Change. You can go listen to our podcast. We have heaps of places where you can find content. But the whole reason why I like the live, the whole reason why you need to be engaging in lives is because you can start getting your own accountability, your own community together. And that is the power of live videos. And so I honestly believe in the power of live videos. I believe that everybody listening to live, there's a reason why you're here. You're here for something. The more interaction you have, sometimes that helps you to eliminate what's going in your head and to clear that out of your head as well. So interaction is always the best. And I want to make sure that impact more people. What we're doing at Com in a big way is we want to make sure that your business can help more people get healthier, fitter around Australia. That's really important for us, really important. And you guys are an amazing unit of that. And to get your brand, your positioning out to your community is what our vision is. And so we want to help everybody to ensure that they're talking exactly to the clients that they can help. And that's really important. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, for your comments, for your input. I do apologize. We had a bit of technology problems at the start. I don't know why Facebook won't allow people to join. We are having that issues. It might be connectivity, but we'll try next time. It's all good. And on these lives coming up, I'm going to bring some more guests on. I'm going to bring some more of our client case studies on in regards to sharing their story, because I believe big part to get you guys motivated around your marketing, crushing your marketing, is to hear from other people as well. Hear what they've been doing in marketing. Hear what they've been doing in their business, because that can elevate us to take action and to go, you know what, they're doing it, I can do it as well. And that's what I want. I want to make sure everybody elevates together, most importantly in 2019. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye for now.
Crush.